When you're working in Adobe Photoshop, all panels have options, and the options control how we interact with that particular panel. If we go down to layers, you can see we have options here, here, and here, as well as if you click here, you have options in there too. Let's talk about some of these options, and let's start with what we can see. Relatively new, and by relative I mean the program's been out for a quarter century. This one's been here for a couple of years, but I do like it. It's the ability to take a document that's got a lot of stuff in it and search for things based on kind, name, click on name, type in the name of the layer. You say, well, Andy, I can see all the layers. Not if you have 50 or 60 or 70. So I can come in here and click and start typing in bird. It isolates it. Now think this way. You have a lot of layers and they got a lot of birds in them. So you're using the word bird in each one of the layers that has a bird in it. You type in the word bird, you get a list of all the bird layers, you select them, you put them in a group. It's a quick down and dirty way to do something like that. Let me get out of there and go back to kind. Let's just look at kind. In kind, you have buttons. For example, show me all my pixel layers, layers that have pixel stuff in them. And I click here, and there you go. Background is considered a pixel layer. Dog print, bunny, but what about bird? Well, what I did with bird is I did convert bird into a smart object. And we're going to cover smart objects, but it's different. It changes it from a pixel layer. Next one over is for adjustment layers. Again, I don't have any, so it would show you this. No layers match the filter, but if you had some, it would show them to you. We do have one text layer. We don't have any shape layers, but we do have one layer that is a smart object. Now, I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. It's a great way to get things together so you can group them. You can make combinations of things. For example, I want all my pixel layers and all my text layers. And if you want to temporarily turn it off, you can click here. That is a nice feature when you have a complicated document with a lot of layers and you're looking for something. Let me select a layer. The next row down is one of my favorite areas, and we're going to be spending a lot of time here, blending modes. I taught an entire semester class on this one feature in Adobe Photoshop. You'd be surprised what you can do with these features right here. They are amazing. Blending modes. We have opacity, and we do have fill. Now, right now, they do exactly the same thing. Let me take this one back to 100 also. Down here, you have locking mechanisms. If you click the first one, that's lock transparent pixels. Let me show you that. I'm going to come into my swatches and pick a color. And I'm going to go into dog print right there. If I come over here and pick up my paintbrush and begin painting, well, I paint everywhere. Now remember, I'm only painting on that one layer, but I'm painting anywhere I want to go. Let me press my favorite key in the whole world, Command on a Mac, Control Windows Z, undo. Come back over here and click Lock Transparent Pixels. Watch what happens. Nothing until I get over something that isn't transparent. Very precisely paint maybe one particular item in a layer. Lock Transparent Pixels. The next one over is Lock Image Pixels. Now that's everything. I've got this layer exactly the way I want it, and I don't want to take the slightest chance that I make a mistake and paint in that layer. Lock it out. Now, you can also click other ones. You could say lock out and then don't move. So now I can't move items in the layer. And the last one is lock everything. I don't want to change anything in this layer. It is absolutely perfect. Now, it doesn't impact the final solution, printing, or anything else. You're just saying, I got this the way I want it to be. Lock it down. No blending modes, opacities, don't change anything. Locking mechanisms. We have quite a few options up here too. And a lot of these we will cover as we move through the chapters. But one I want to mention is near the top. Quick export is PNG or export as. Think of it this way. You have one layer you really like. I really like that bunny layer. I'd like that to be a document all by itself. You can do it right here. We have grouping options, artboard options, which are new. Locking, smart objects. That's how I converted it into a smart object. Convert to smart object. Blending, clipping mask, merging, animation options. You actually can do animation in this program. Let me come down to this one right here. In panel options, what you can choose is bigger thumbnails. You can choose that the content of the thumbnail contains the entire layer. And if you look at my bunny, for example, You see the bunny in the upper right-hand corner on the layer? Kind of small, but you can see it. If you turn on layer bounds as opposed to entire document, the layer will fill up with just the bunny. You won't see any areas that don't have something in them. Now, the other options will make more sense when we actually work with those things. And click OK if you made changes. When you're working in panels, not just the layers panel, the options inside the panel help you interact better with that particular panel and make you more efficient. Let's move on.